Um, Just a quick review, obviously, we didn't meet our quota of voters in June. So we have to do this again. Unless somebody else has something else to add to that. Off and
Only
running.
that, hopefully in November we'll get over 600.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
You know, speculating on what's gonna happen in November, I'm sure that we're gonna have a good crowd here.
Yep.
So hopefully we get the necessary votes that are required to pass it.
Okay. Well, in that case, in July, Paul had sent a short list of things that he noticed. Most of, they're just little housekeeping things. That's what's on the back of the copy of the agenda that I handed out. And I've already gone through on my copy on the computer and changed those things. I didn't bother printing it out because of the nature of the things. There were a couple of other things on Paul's list, they were spacing issues, which will resolve themselves once the final copy is printed and we take out all the deleted items and repage it. So, but this was just making, consistency with capitalization, a little, spacing, skipping lines between sections and straightening out a couple of punctuation problems. But other than that, there was nothing exciting there. I kind of get the feeling that Simone has some issues she would like to bring up.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, you might as well.
Okay, I have to apologize, 'cause I wasn't here during the bulk of the time that you were working on it, but my concern is under the recall for petitions for recall, which would be on page 31 and 32. It seems to kind of like put the clerk in the middle of preparing the petition, and I don't think the clerk should be involved in that. I think if you look at section B, it says the initiator of the petition, I just want to wait till you all set there, shall, file a notice of intention of recall, which includes the name, address, contact information, and, of the person filing the notice, as well as the name and position of the official subject to recall with the clerk, which is fine. I think that's good, because then the town has a heads up, and then the petition will be addressed to the select board. So the clerk would forward that along. What I'm concerned about is that on section E, I think we should delete that completely. Within 3 business days of receipt of the notice of intention, the clerk shall prepare the petition forms for the collection of signatures. I mean, if they want to get a sample petition form blank, we can provide that, but I don't think we should be responsible for filing a petition that somebody is from outside is preparing. I think that, it says on the next paragraph, or you could put as far as deleting that paragraph and just continuing on with the back part, which says each petition form must include at the top of the form the name, address, blah, blah, space for signatures. All of that is fine, but I just don't like the fact that the clerk is preparing a recall petition for an outside group. So I would say delete that first paragraph and just start E with what the petition form should recall. And then, I don't want to go too fast.
Yeah, can you hold that?
Yeah,
just
hold
there?
it, yeah, hold it.
I don't think that was the intent of that paragraph. And I agree with you, it might be unclear. My interpretation is that the town would have a standard petition form, a blank sheet with, space for a name, blank serial number.
Right.
And that's what the clerk would give to the person who was going to fill out and distribute the petition.
But see, to me, it says the clerk shall prepare petition forms for
Just
the
the
collection of signatures.
Petition forms, not the petition.
That to me is very vague as far
Well,
as, I would say,
That's the exact language of the state statute.
really,
Exactly.
that we prepare the petition forms.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say provide the, or well,
We
not
just
even,
tracked the statute. Did that from Berkeley. Yeah.
Yes, well, I
But you remember
clearly,
well.
yes, I clearly remember that.
really, okay. See, I wasn't aware of that because
I don't know why it says that either.
I wouldn't, yeah,
Sorry,
I
I'm
just
guessing.
don't, to me, it almost sounds like, we're supposed to prepare it and include the headings and all of that.
Job at the state level.
Mhm.
Job of wording at the
Yes, it is.
One more time.
You know,
Then why
Well,
can't
so I think it ought to be clear for
Sure.
somebody else down the road, you know, when she's not there, or
Right.
whatever, exactly, because somebody could read this and say, well, I'm the town clerk, so I'm supposed to.
prepare the
do all this.
forms. That's what
So
I'm
I think we
concerned
kinda
about.
wanna Make sure that it's clear on exactly what that role is to be done.
And can we vary from the state or? I mean,
I think you can. I don't know if I've read the whole statute, but I think. it's kind of-
because it almost sounds like, you know, the reason I feel it sounds like that is because it says the clerk shall prepare the petition forms for the collection of signatures, send notice to the initiator that the petition forms are available, and then charge for a reasonable fee for preparing the forms. So to me, it sounds like, here, this is who I want to recall and why, here, you prepare it for me. That's what, to me, it makes it sound like to, as a clerk, that if I would be reading that intentions as far as preparing and charging.
You could read what Donna suggested too, I think. But it's, the statute does it, except as otherwise provided by the municipal ordinance or charter, and it goes on.
What is, can I,
Yeah, first paragraph.
Well, wasn't the answer for us copying and pasting this language so that should the statute change, that we would beholden to that change to? We're basically saying, we're okay with the statute as it is now. So if we also want to tweak it to reflect what we think it said.
Right. I mean, I think the statute allows for that, the charter can say something different, but,
So if we simply took out the word prepare and put provide,
Yeah, that really doesn't change the wording of it, but that doesn't change the intent of what the statute says.
Right. but it does clarify this issue.
Yeah, she's not gonna, the clerk is not gonna develop that
Hmm.
language. That has to be developed by a petition.
right, you
So,
know, it's just like if somebody submits something to the planning board, they have to provide the language at the top, and you have to take it exactly as it's
Right.
worded. The Same with referendums and stuff, you can't, you're not authorized to change it. So that's why I was like, whoa, I don't want to, you know, that puts you in the middle as the clerk, you
well,
know.
if you change the word just from prepare to provide, we should capture that.
Yeah, and I think that we have to watch the last sentence at the end of that paragraph. Town may charge initiator of petition a reasonable fee for preparing and providing. So just take out preparing and.
No, prepare.
Just big part.
Reporting.
If it's going in its entirety, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is spelling it.
Let's go back to that other, the first one here, before we get to that other sentence, right? So the town clerk shall provide.
Provide.
petition forms for the collection of signatures. Do we need all the rest of this and notice to the initiator and send notice to the initiator for petition, that the petition forms are available? Or we just
Yes.
say, you know, can provide and inform the petition initiator that the forms are available. Shorten that up a little bit. I think that's just.
I think that's, okay. I think because this is time sensitive, the clerk has to send notice to the initiator of the petition that they're available. I don't see how we can not say that.
Also, what's initiator, what's initiator?
Initiator.
No, it doesn't say initiator, it says INITATOR.
All right, Jack, I'm not finding the spot that you're referring to. Okay.
Free parking. Right, preparing.
And we're gonna take that out anyways, right? Reasonable fee.
Well, mine says prepare it, but I'm looking at I
Oh, you're
have,
looking at the
what
old
I
one.
have is the copy that we had at voting.
Okay, yeah, it's that was a typo on my part.
This one we
got. Carry.
Okay,
And it has
Kristen and I.
Initiator.
and the initiator is correct on mine as well. All right, you're fired. We're done.
On which, where is it?
Yeah, but based on the discussion.
Fine.
Is the.
Yeah, at the very end. In the-
Initiator.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the town may charge the initiator of the petition a reasonable fee for providing the petition forms. And that makes that okay.
So we'll take it over there.
Yes,
Where's the spell check? The formatting is just different because I retyped it in so that we'd have everything highlighted red that was deleted as well.
Yeah. it's just
I
so
couldn't
you all
find, I
know
couldn't
that
find the other, the other
Simone's
formatted.
gonna be managing our elections this year. She took the initiative, which I'm really grateful for her to do, to go through this whole charter again and look at those things that had to be changed. Did some changing to make sure that the red was identified and underlined, that would be the new language, or if it was red and crossed through, that was the old language that was coming up. So make it a little easier for everybody to look at, so thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Well, I couldn't find the original draft, so that's why I redid it.
well, we only had, what, 17 working drafts? So
I'd rather all.
The other-
Doesn't match up at all.
Here's the draft that was in the book. If you want that one.
The other thing that I have that I don't know if that's part of the statute or not is under F.
Okay, can
Oh,
we decide on this
sure,
one first
okay.
before we move on?
Oh, okay.
Are we all set with
I
that
think,
paragraph?
yeah, I think we are.
So you're gonna have
We
the
took
clerk,
out preparing and then preparing and.
so you're gonna put the town clerk shall provide petition forms for the collection of signatures and send notice to the initiator of the petition that the petition forms are available. The town may charge the initiator of the petition a reasonable fee for providing the petition forms.
That's it.
Providing.
We all set? Okay. Okay.
Again, my question on this is, I'm sorry, on that same recall F. It's basically saying that in the middle, it says, the initiator of the petition shall collect the petition forms from all the circulators and submit the petition forms to the town clerk within 14 days. And it says of receipt of notice from the clerk that the petition forms are available. And then it goes on to that, she may not accept them after the 14 days after sending a notice, blah, blah. This to me leaves you wide open. My notice, what if I call the initiator? It's my word against him that I've called them and told them that those forms are available. And then you're giving him 14 days from the notice to file those back with me. I would think in a court of law, if I just made a phone call, it's he said, she said, so again, you're putting the clerk in a situation where I'd have to either do an email or written letter or something.
To go back to the E that we just discussed, it says the clerk,
Again,
will send notice to the issue.
right, and again, I have that, to me was a big flag too. Send notice, how? It doesn't say, so if I send notice by phone, it's my word against theirs.
I think you are bringing up a good point, and fall is a horrible way to do it.
Right,
I
but
So let's
nowadays,
specify the method of delivery.
well, again, my thing would be in this sentence here, this last sentence, you're giving them 3 business days to provide the clerk, for the clerk to provide the forms,
Okay.
okay? To me, you should, to make it cleaner, that 14-day period would start after the 3 days that they've gotten 3 days for the clerk to get the forms. They should pick them up and have their 14 days after that 3-day period and not have anything to do with me notifying them and blah, blah, blah. If they haven't picked up the form or give them a certain amount of time so that basically they're responsible for turning them in after such and such a date and not having to depend on my notice or the clerk's notice. I think you're putting the clerk in a kind of a loop there that I think should be like something to the effect that the petition forms to the clerk within 14 days after
Their preparation.
filing the intention of recall, or after so many days of, once they file the intention of recall. I don't know if there's a cleaner way of doing that, you know what I mean? And just,
It's the state statute.
again, it's statute.
Exactly.
Gosh,
Which means
you
there's
can tell
not
they're
a
not
cleaner way
clerks
to do it.
because they're putting the clerk in a very awkward position as far as, it's not, it shouldn't be the clerk's responsibility to be taking care of their issue,
I see
So
that, but
I think the legislature is off on that as far as not getting.
Town would want some documentation that we did in fact notify the
Notify.
petitioner.
Right,
And maybe we just clarify that form of notification.
by email or
Right,
something,
maybe we clarify that all forms of notification are to be done by email or something
or
like that.
receipt.
I was just gonna say registered mail. I mean, email is just as good as phone. None of it works.
But the email you can trace,
That's
Yes.
true.
right? You can-
Yes.
you have
Be
traceability.
documented.
Either that or have the clerk get some type of written receipt after, of that. Handing them the phone, you give them the forms, I need a receipt saying that you received it, days after. Right,
So it's a signature
Yeah,
when you pick them up.
Mhm.
Would that potentially create then, the possibility that someone could, submit for the petition, but then just not pick them up for a period of time?
Well, it says the clerk gives that for clerk 3 days, business days, which would not be weekends, so if they drop it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday doesn't count, so then they'd have, or Friday, because you're closed, so they'd have to, the clerk would have 3 business days to prepare the forms. And then after that 3 business days, it sounds like, the clerk is supposed to have it within 3 business days, so they should theoretically be picking it up after that 3rd business day.
Somebody decides, well, for whatever reason, I'm gonna grab it for a week or pick it up.
It gets back to having documentation that the notice was provided.
Right.
F says that 14 days. after pick them up.
Your clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking if we have documented.
Right.
By something that you.
See, I put my,
Notice of the provider.
yeah, I put my, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not in a court,
Mhm.
but I put my, my reputation behind what the clerk says as opposed to what the petitioner's telling me. So if the clerk says, I gave them notice, it was by phone, I noted it, as far as I'm concerned, that would be legal enough for them to say, okay, yeah, the clerk has provided it, for 14 days to take it.
I think we would be there if the person that answered the phone was available.
Well, I
Yeah, I
understand,
agree with
but, I mean,
It's,
our
yeah,
officials, they have to count for something.
yeah.
What advantage would there be for somebody who is taking the time to file a petition because they have an issue to then
None.
just letting it slide?
Well,
So,
we had that issue that came up at one of the selectmen was recalled when Roland was recalled. It was rumored that they were starting a recall petition. Nothing was ever completed, but it hit the newspapers and it was right at election time. And it was very detrimental to him. And it was never filed. It was just rumored that this person was beginning a recall petition. And I don't even know if he pulled out papers or not. I don't remember if he did or not.
But any of that.
Nothing was turned in, nothing
No
was,
matter what we do here,
Right.
nothing stops that from happening.
right.
Right? I mean, that has
But
nothing
this,
to do
but
with
this doesn't, this at least puts a deadline to it. We didn't have a deadline, I don't think, before. And, so I don't know, but
Oh, yeah, so the deadline, yeah, if it had a 14-day deadline,
it would
somebody
have,
could say, we didn't receive, right?
right.
14
It's-
days,
it's
right?
a moot point.
Or somebody could have screwed up and forgot or didn't and then their time runs out, and now they would say, oh, no, it was the clerk's fault. She didn't give me enough time.
But that doesn't stop somebody from going to paper saying, I'm gonna file a petition.
Right.
Never filed.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's irrelevant of
Yeah,
whatever, what
yeah.
this is,
Right,
right?
so
We
that's
just
what's
wanna-
out there, that somebody has to deal with that.
We just want to make sure that we have full documentation that will stand up in court that we've notified them on by whatever dates. And whether, I don't know, maybe Tom can answer that, but whether her word is good enough, or we have to prove that she made the phone call or sent an email.
Unless the clerk in this circumstance has some vested interest in the outcome, she's gonna be believed.
Right.
So it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, why would you?
I know.
It's ridiculous.
So if an
I think
E,
it's okay if it's-
if an E, where it's that very first sentence, town clerk shall provide petition forms for the collection of signatures and send notice via something to the initiator of the petition. And maybe can we put in, options, email or registered mail? I mean, because theoretically, someone might not have an email account, so you've got to have another avenue.
Or the email goes to junk, spam, and they don't see it.
Exactly. I mean, I personally think registered mail would be the way to go.
But then it's so slow nowadays, you never know.
And the
But-
post office doesn't care who signs for those things.
No,
Don't even get me started on the post office.
I guess, like you say, if
Yeah.
you have to take the phone call and say, I know I would document when I called the person and say,
If you call them, the phone doesn't get answered, say, I called on such a.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah,
answered, I'll try again tomorrow, or whatever.
Mhm.
Keep documents or whatever.
yeah.
Or you leave a message, but the person doesn't read their messages. How do you know? You don't.
You've done your due diligence.
That's true, I guess, yeah.
You've done your due diligence. so-
I'm just surprised that it's in-
Anybody
the
who wants to-
statute is like that.
But everyone who's involved in the recall process is got a vested interest.
They
They're
do.
Paying attention.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They would provide you with that information anyways when they drop off the initial
Yeah.
intent to file.
But are town, clarify, are town clerks like sworn in, like a sheriff or something?
Mhm.
Well, then it seems to me that your word would be legally binding.
Go.
I'll do that for Jake.
Oh, Way
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I guess we can leave it, it's just, I was surprised it was, like I said, I missed the statute part.
Follow up with a certified letter after the phone call, just to, have a paper trail for the. Yeah, but the document what you. But the clock will call, the clock starts there. If you reach the person over the phone, then
Mhm.
time has begun.
So in
I guess
14
it'd be
days,
calling You saying, are those petitions ready?
yeah, you would think so, yeah, because that gives them. Now, are we talking about 14, does it say in the statute,
Yeah.
14 days, business days or business, no? 14 days?
14 days.
Consecutive days, it's like, Monday to Friday is fine.
Doesn't say.
It only
doesn't
does,
say
Monday,
that one
14
doesn't,
days.
that one only
14
says
days.
14 days.
Yeah.
And we discussed that too. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a consecutive.
Okay,
Because I think part of our discussion was, in this case, not business days, because if you're circulating a petition,
you'd
a
want the
logic,
weekends, yeah.
a logical time to be doing that would be the weekend, so that would be included in your 14
Okay.
days.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that
because the
could,
next item on G says within 7 business days.
Mhm.
Define.
yeah,
So the town hall is operating on
on
business days,
right.
but the person out in the public can do this thing anytime.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because obviously they don't have a job because they're circulating. Oh, my. Did you have anything else that concerned you?
No, so I guess we'll just leave it as far as,
All right,
since,
well, we got rid of 3 more words. Shorten this right up.
But we had to add recall in there.
Yeah.
Under F.
yes. The town, oh, yes, so that would be under F.
So you're not
There's
there.
a question at this end.
Hey, Sean's got a question. Sorry, I was just gonna say before we move on, the middle of the line on the right side, town clerk is capitalized, or town is not capitalized. Clerk.
On G,
Sorry, F, middle of that.
F,
Middle of F.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
that should be a capital T, okay. And also,
It was on mine.
the next sentence, it says the town clerk may not accept a petition form, I would say a recall petition form submitted more than 14 days.
That's written in on my copy.
Yeah.
Oh, it is written in? Okay,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
left it.
That
okay.
was from her.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, no, that is.
Anything else here while we're here?
That's the only thing I have.
How's that? I would like to bring up another item. I know. And we've been here before, but I have to do it one more time just because. This gender neutral change to the document, you heard that coming, right? I have thought about that since it was first brought up. We discussed it endlessly and, effectively balanced discussion. We voted on it. However, after the voting, I had conversations which were not initiated by me with a number of people who expressed their displeasure with that particular item. There were people who said they used words like foolish, unnecessary, and, well, let's leave it at foolish and unnecessary. I basically agree with that. It's grammatically awkward. And one of the things that I thought about was, I believe it was Sean who initially, when we had the discussion, but I may be wrong, so if I'm falsely accusing you, let me know, brought up the idea that if you have somebody who has a generic name like Pat, and you don't know whether it's male or female, that can be socially awkward because you refer to him as she or she as him. But that doesn't apply to this document because this is not an individual correspondence. It's simply a general public document. And therefore, the generic use of he couldn't possibly personally offend anybody because it's just the document. The other thing I thought about was, since 1916, when we became a town, 8 different people have served as town clerk. 6 of them have been women. So we've never really had a problem with a document in town discouraging anybody from serving. We've had female selectmen, tax assessors, tax collectors. So we're hardly a good old boy network where the only way you can do anything in this town is to be male. So I don't see that this gains anything as far as the document is concerned. I think the thing that bothered me the most in terms of the comments that people made, oh, one other little thing, I did notice when the vote was tallied and put on the website, that the one item that got the most negative votes was this one. That first, item number 1, changing it to select board and gender neutral. Now, it wasn't enough to defeat it.
What was the outcome on that?
I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was, of all of the items on the list, the one that got the most no votes was that first one.
Was it 50 to 49? Or
I didn't,
80,
I
20,
didn't, I didn't do the,
roughly?
didn't do the math at the time, and this morning I went to the website to try to find the numbers and put, so I can't, I'm sure they're on record.
Right in the book.
I can't document that in terms of percentages, but it was a significant difference.
Oh, it's not, it'd be locked. It'd be right in the ball.
The thing that bothered me the most in terms of comments was the person who said to me that they voted for the charter, not because they understood any of it, but because I was on the committee. And I'm sure that applies to the rest of you as well. All of you know people in town who, if you do something, they have faith in you and what they do. And it's both a compliment, but it's also a responsibility. If we're going to put something out to the town that we have as a small group decided represents the town well, we have to feel good about the fact that it represents the town well. And I feel good about every word in this charter except that particular piece. I still think that that is a trendy thing right now. I don't think it's appropriate for a document of this nature. And I'm, regardless of how this ends up, I'm probably always going to feel that way. But as I said, I thought about it enough. I needed to share my thoughts one more time. So that's it. Here come the numbers.
Okay.
Yes, it's in the notes.
Didn't bring me a calculator. That's all right. I said,
Well, it just says how many yes and how many no. Don't need a calculator.
Oh,
all right, well, if we just read the numbers, 268 yes, 137 no. So approximately
So it's.
2 to 1, 2 to 1. And all of the other no's ranged from 99 down to 52. So,
Sorry, how many notes on that first question?
I'm sorry, what?
How many notes?
60 to 130.
137, 268 yes.
Oh, I mean, that, based on the discussions that we had, there was a few, way longer than I had. Saying, you know, people are not gonna want to change anything. So, yeah, that was the one. Percentage of no, but still. We debated it, we voted, what do you wanna do?
That's truthful, but I think you'll find with a lot of this kind of stuff, if a board like this presents something to the town, you're gonna have half the town will just say, I'll vote yes because I'm all up, or oppose this because I think they're good reliable. So,
I don't know.
uh,
I don't know.
Well, you know, I think that if that's the only thing that we did to this charter, then I would say that geez, that was kind of a waste of time, you know, to go and just change it to gender neutral. Because we're doing a whole bunch of other things. I don't think that changing to gender neutral is gonna hurt anything. I mean, obviously, you say it's a trendy thing. It is. We're not the only ones doing it. I mean, it's happening all over the place. It's happening in corporations. It's happening in other charters or whatever. And I don't think we're really hurting anything. We're gonna get some no votes, but feel pretty strong, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to defeat that.
I'd just like to add, and Donna, I know we disagree on this. And,
Yep.
That's also the nature of the committee. That's why we're here, because we're gonna disagree on things and we hash it out together. But this is also kind of a personal thing for me because I have people in my life, including my best friend from college, who does not identify as male or female. May have been born one way, but they choose to identify as neither male nor female. And there are a lot of people who take that choice. So when looking at, I don't see this as being gender neutral. I see it as being gender inclusive, and it applies to anybody, whether they're male, female, or none of the above.
I agree with your premise, except that my only argument is having that issue influence this document. Again, just because it's a public document. If I was working on, a personal letter, or even a business letter, then I would certainly be sensitive to those issues. But this is simply a public document that applies over a long span of time to a large number of people, literally over generations. It doesn't point us in a direction either way, to either gender or to no gender or to every gender, regardless of how you want to couch the phrase. It's simply a public document that says, we will have a town clerk. And from the standpoint of just pure grammatical grace, having it worded the way it always has been was a nice, easy read. As I went through and typed all the changes from, he to they, and then you have to change the verb. It is, as I said, it's grammatically awkward. It doesn't make it unreadable, but I don't see the sense in doing it. I don't think that that issue is going to defeat the charter, especially since it's a separate article. I have no worries about that. And as I said, I have no problem with everything else in the charter in terms of how to run a town. I just don't see the need for this particular change. So,
If it goes to town and it fails, everything else passes. Doesn't become gender neutral, then we leave the cheat sheet with selectmen, whatever, right? We let the voters decide. If the voters decide they don't like it, it goes the way it originally was. It's not like it's gonna screw the rest of the charter up.
no, it won't.
Right, because that's why we
Right.
broke it all up. So. It's defeated, it gets defeated. It's not gonna hurt. I don't think it's gonna hurt the child.
No, it won't. I agree with you. All right. In that case, I think we are on the next item on the agenda, which is to look at the revisions for the warrant, which Simone has worked on for us.
I tried a little bit.
You got them all, so.
You think so? I hope so. Well, there is going to be an additional question because we didn't have the town manager section.
Right.
So question number 4 is a new question.
6-2, right?
Yes, yeah,
I think we did miss a piece, though.
okay,
In question 12,
okay.
general provisions of 14.3 recall of elected officials and 14.3.1 petitions for recall. And then if you go beyond that, there's also 14.3.3.
Okay.
And that was difficult to follow because we
Oh,
eliminated
the old,
the old 14.3.2, 14.3.3, but then by the time 14.3.4 and 5, which became 2, and then you got to 3, and
Okay, so we
that's the one that needs to be put in.
so 14.3.1, and that has all the ABCs and Ds.
Yep.
And then what are we adding?
This is the one you're looking for.
Okay,
There it is, 14.3.3. Because we added that last phrase.
oh, okay. 3.
When it comes to it, isn't that crosswalk?
So
It's-
should I,
It's the one that starts, no recall petition shall be filed against an official within 6 months after their election. And we added the phrase at the end, unless, and this was another long discussion, unless the official is convicted of a crime, the conduct of which occurred during the official's term of office.
Crossed off the 6. and put it back. Yeah, okay.
should I add something to that statement or unless convicted? Or just leave it?
Yeah, I don't know how to.
And so that is not. Okay, so Under the-
Unless, if you wanted just a summary, it would be limitations of recall. Because it starts that with no recall petition should be filed against an official after their election.
Yeah, you go 14.3.3 recall.
Just recall limitation.
Yeah.
Would sum it up.
So that also has to be added to the order, the selectmen's order.
So nobody else found anything missing from the extensive list of numbers.
I will keep that straight on question 5. Good Lord.
I kept looking from page to page to
Yeah.
page. Compensations. Should town be capitalized on that? I see the article says the town will vote by secret ballot with a capital there. Should I put the questions with a capital? It doesn't matter.
Actually, yes, I think it should be.
Yeah, so I
Can
think
Should be
capitalized? Okay, yeah.
The responsibilities of board selectmen. How did we end, refresh my memory? How did we end up in terms of, seemed to be a problem of how much money they could spend without going to the town?
Well, that was the town manager.
Oh,
So that
We
was,
put together this policy.
right.
also,
If in fact the charter passes.
okay.
Yeah, that was 6.2
6.2
H. It's doing exactly what I did this morning.
Huh?
You're doing exactly what I did this morning.
For the compensation.
Well, no, just going down, checking off each
Yeah,
item
I
on the
know.
list.
Yeah.
And I was all set till I got to the end.
Not bad, but.
No.
Sensational. It's like,
Special town meeting in November.
it will be, because it's a referendum. Has to be opened as a special town meeting. So you'll have to have a warrant for a special town meeting warrant as well, which you'll have to sign. The order is so that I can get my ballot questions sent to get printed. So we'll be opening the state election and local election, just like you do in June.
Okay. Hopefully practice makes perfect. Is everybody all set?
You have a quick look at a couple of other paragraphs before we finalize this thing, all right?
Fine with me, now's the time, I don't want to meet again, ever.
Done.
Nothing personal.
2.6. The last word is the.
Oh, that could be a typo on my part. Let's see. 2.6, let me make sure.
Yeah, that's
It
you.
was
That's
the,
you.
yeah, that's a typo.
Now to 2.6A. Instead of last.
2.6,
Yep,
and,
that's the way it was.
and which one is that?
First
Six.
word, that should be gone.
Okay.
Uh, 4.8. Reading all of these here make a little more sense. Just say if a vacancy occurs on the select board, when instead of a vacancy in the office of a select board member, having select board members really have this is like a-
We have them, but we just didn't tell them.
Would you say again what you would propose
I
there?
would propose that we, if a vacancy occurs on the select board, when
Vacancy occurs.
So you're getting rid of in the office, or just changing order a little bit too, so, okay.
If a vacancy occurs in the select board,
on the select, if a
On-
vacancy occurs on the select board.
on the select board.
Okay,
If a vacancy occurs.
everybody okay with
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Another half a dozen.
4.9A makes absolutely no sense to me.
What was it, John? Which one?
4.9A.
Well, in the past, the selectmen were automatically voted on as selectmen, assessors, and overseers of the poor. That was all the duties of the select board. So I think that's why that was put there.
I kind of get why it was.
And if it's still statutory, do you think, or that you're overseers of the
We're
poor?
not anymore.
You're not
They
anymore.
eliminated that.
Okay, because that used to be,
Right,
that's why you would get elected, and I used to have to swear you into all three positions.
that's been eliminated.
Okay, so,
So if you read it, it says, starting at the first paragraph, the power and duties of the board
mhm,
shall include but not be limited to the following. To read, to oversee all activities within.
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Just take the 2B out, right?
Probably add something to within.
Wait a minute. I don't see a problem with it, but I'm probably not looking at the same
Oh,
words
wait,
you
I
are.
was saying town government is omitted, I'm sorry. That's my fault from the first
So
one,
it should say to oversee all activities within town government.
government,
Yeah, so take out to be also at the first of it.
Yeah, that doesn't belong there.
okay, all right.
You and I need
All
to merge these
activities
two documents.
within town.
Well, I
government, right.
couldn't find the original one that
That's
you were
because it was
working
on my
on.
computer.
Okay,
Never mind.
that's mine, yeah, that's my
Okay.
error.
Okay.
So you're okay, town government.
4.9J. We go on that. Paragraph J, this would be on the third line, paragraph J, so it's read on behalf of the town, period. And then the policy shall be approved by the town voters and shall be published by the board. It's pretty well.
No, because I think that phrase, the phrase applies to the phrase as approved by the town voters applies to that first stem. And then the second part, it's like two steps in the process. The second sentence is the policy should be regularly reviewed by the board and the budget board and adjusted as needed. So that it's not carved in stone, but establishing a policy defining the bid process. The policy as approved by the town voters. Am I making any sense at all? here?
It's not the policy, it's the expenditure of funds. That first have to be approved. We can't spend money until the voters say yes.
Thank you.
And then we establish a policy that determines how we spend the money.
Okay.
I don't know what basis we spend it, but we have to bid or not bid.
Right, so it's sort of, it's really a two-step
Right,
process
yeah,
here.
yeah.
And that phrase does apply to the first step.
The only other one I have
Are we
is
taking the
5.2.
comma off, or are we just
No, the
leaving?
comma needs to be there.
The comma staying, okay.
5.2, I think 5 should be spelled out for number 5.
I'm sorry, say that again, John?
Okay, 5.2, I think 5 should be spelled out.
Yes.
Right, because we're
Yeah.
consistent throughout the rest of the
Yes.
document.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
However, that's been eliminated. The phrase there shall be 5 is gone.
That's been eliminated, but now you start with the figure 5.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We should still have the
Oh, 5 should be completely
five
gone
is
then.
gone.
5 is gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the, what,
School, okay, so
What-
school board members,
what's-
directors,
So number 5.
number 5 should be gone.
Yeah.
Okay,
so what it
Yes, we
reads,
did.
It just didn't get crossed
it just didn't get done, yeah.
Yeah.
Remove 5.
what it should read is school board members / directors shall be elected at large for staggered terms of 3 years each. And 3 and 3 are both there.
Okay,
So
Okay. Anybody else want to jump into this?
yes, John. Oh.
very good.
Good deal. All right, then we're good to go. What is our timeline for this? I know when we end, what has to happen in the meantime?
Well, I think that we should be looking to establish our public hearing for the board's business meeting on September 26th. Next week, the 12th. That gives us enough time to publicize the public hearing. We have to do that within 7 days. And it puts us in line to meet all the requirements statutorily to be prepared for the vote on the 8th. So, then provide 7 days after the hearing, the officers may order the proposed amendment to be placed on the ballot at the next regular meeting. I would suggest that they do it at the meeting on the 29th. Indicate 7 days prior to the hearing, Mr. Roberts shall publish a notice of the public hearing in the newspaper. Prior to the hearing, which we will do. 7 days after the public hearing, the officers or the committee shall file the municipal clerk report containing the final draft of written opinion by an attorney. So it gives you enough time to send it to the attorney for review. Bid it to the bar in the state for the amendments that are proposed and not prohibited by local laws. It indicates that 2 weeks before the election, the final report will be printed. Copies available to the public in the town clerk's office and posted in a regular manner. And then we also have to. So those are
And
the
then you
things
have
that
to hold another public hearing for the referendum 10 days prior, at least, it says at least 10 days
For the
prior
referendum.
for the referendum.
So that would still get us to, that would be done in October,
October.
which would give us those 10 days.
All right, so the 26th of September, we're talking about a public hearing
Correct.
on charter revisions, which will, I'm
Like we did the last
sure,
time.
be well attended like it was the last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It will be.
Sorry.
I had perhaps another set of letters fly to it. We'll stick with yours. Okay. I would like to propose that sometime between now and the vote, we put out something to the residents of Arundel explaining the changes this time. Because the predominant comment from people was, I had no idea what that was about. And especially when you look at question 5, compensation of appointed officers, 6.3, 7.3, 8.3, 9.1, and so on. That could be summed up in a sentence, so people would actually know what that was. So I'm gonna throw out the, the 5-letter word that no one wants to hear, which is arrow. I'm sure we could put together an article that just went down and explained everything here. So that everybody in town gets it, everybody in town understands what's going on, and that might make things a lot easier on voting day. I mean, because seriously, to have somebody go into the booth and have to say, okay, what is 10.5.1?
I did
That's-
see a couple
that's-
of people
that's-
doing that.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
That's why it was there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they should not have had to do that, maybe to just clarify something at the last minute or refresh their memory. But I think an Arrow article, a mailing to every resident in Arundel, so they have this in front of them in writing. And if they choose not to read it, that's their choice.
Did you put together an addendum before that was to be added? Remember we talked about that? Because in here, there should be what all the changes are, kind of paragraph,
Yeah,
what
right.
all the changes are.
Well, we had a list, and that was sort of what we developed the order of the warrant articles out of. It wasn't a full explanation, but yeah, we have the bare bones of that.
So shouldn't that be added? And then that's what's gonna, we should post that.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, yeah, so. You're right.
Yeah, it's just a
The-
beginning, right?
Like the previous ones.
Yes.
Yes, we kind of have that.
Because I remember you had written something up.
Yep.
And that's to go into this, once this gets approved, that people can, we can take that, and that could be.
That could be.
Put in the arrow, what gets put on the website, because that should list what the changes are, yes?
Well, I would think what would be an arrow might be a little longer than that, but yeah, just a summary to explain what all of these are, and, maybe a little bit of why in the arrow.
I thought it'd be this.
Keep it simple?
I think it's a
Yeah, but in November, Jack, I don't think we can have people doing what Dan is just doing.
No,
Yeah,
The lines for voting would be
Yeah.
out the door. Well, people, if
You want
something,
something that will actually fit.
right,
And I don't smile very much. George, great, right? Besides that, I have a repayment plan.
She's taught you well, huh?
Yeah.
all right, so we need the little summary blurb, I'll dig that out. I don't think I have that with me. It'll take too long to find it, even if I do. And then something a little bit more detailed in terms of an arrow article.
Why did you take it?
Well, not a lot, just a little.
But then you have to get down to
Topics.
question by question, I think, what you're suggesting.
yeah,
Yes, so that when they go and when they see, for example, I'm gonna go back to question 5, compensation for appointed officers, they can say, oh, yeah, all they're doing is just, I remember reading that, it's just making the definition the same all the way through,
Mhm.
which is why there's 500. We could do that.
Maybe the question could be explained as we're not getting rid of the fire department.
Oh,
right,
yeah, that would be another
Yeah, that's-
important thing. Yep,
right,
Definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
that just the incorporation is not,
Yeah.
not being in the charter, correct?
Yeah, understood, yeah. Definitely.
See volunteering.
well, I'll be happy
Corporation's a
to
separate
write
entity,
it.
It's not a town department.
Right, Sean just made a good point in the sense that
Mhm.
if any of you have an idea of something that should be emphasized, email it to me and then we'll incorporate everybody's ideas in it.
Would you mind
Do as a group
Sure.
email.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. 'Cause, I mean, whatever we put in the arrow represents the committee as a whole.
Mhm.
So all of the members of the committee should have, input and review as we have right from the beginning. Yeah. So, and in terms of timing, when would we need that ready for press?
I think it should be ready for the public hearing.
Be nice to have it. We're two down in the office, so it's really gonna have to.
Well, the information summary, that would, yes, that's easy for the public hearing.
Right.
But not the article for the arrow.
Oh, for the arrow.
I was talking about advance time for mailing out an arrow. Because I don't want to,
Just use the order of the municipal officials, and it has a category, and then under it, put an explanation for what the purpose of. That suffice what we're trying to accomplish here, give information to the public. Do that with our annual town meeting warrant. The warrant usually gets done, and then when I redo it, I put an explanation, some of each warrant article, just to give them a briefing as to what it's all about. And like in this case, we picked out compensation for appointed officials, board members. Then you can put the explanation under it, what the purpose of this is.
yeah,
So at least they
Yeah.
know.
Or use the questions.
We're not have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
well, no, absolutely not.
I mean, like, you could almost go like question 1 and just not put shall the town vote, just put change of board,
Yeah,
question 1, question 2, and just take off that
Well,
first
that's true, too.
sentence,
Yeah, that'd be clean.
I think it'd be cleaner with the questions.
Yeah, because
And-
then they can relate the
Question.
question.
Yeah,
to
right.
This one. It's-
Yeah.
Right,
I
you
agree.
know,
We're good.
I would suggest that, you get it out beginning of October, because absentee balloting is gonna start October 8th. October 8th, yeah, because, a lot of people do vote absentee now, and just to be, at least the beginning of October.
Yeah, we can certainly put it on the website, maybe send a copy to the Post, so that they can, put it in newspaper.
It wouldn't have to be a full 3-4 page. You could do it as a 1-page
I think so too.
and just like
Yeah, it's
triple
fold it
fold
up.
type thing and
Yeah.
stuff like that and do it like that, It's-
That would give them all the information they need for that.
all right, well, I will look forward to everyone's email first thing in the morning.
So I know that when we were going through all this, Simone was like, well, I
Right.
didn't get that, and I didn't get, are we clear on what you guys
I
were?
think so.
'Cause we had a missing,
We
Yes.
can
I'm
blend the documents.
Yeah, and I'm gonna run it through the spell check. I did not do that the last time, so I will run it through the spell check and I'll go between the 2 documents again and see.
Well,
what
what
I feel.
I'll do is I'll just email you my copy,
Okay,
so you have, because the changes I referred to before that Paul had suggested, I've already put those in.
Oh.
So the only thing I need to do is put in a couple things we did tonight, and then I should have a clean copy of everything we did and agreed on from the get-go.
okay.
And then,
I can merge the, make sure
yeah,
that.
then all you have to do is, if you're gonna change the colors on us again,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that was a great idea. It was very easy to read. So,
Yeah.
well, no,
10 years.
do it nice.
Yeah.
Not for the next 10 years.
That's right. And I'm sure we'll all be here because we have no sense. So, anything else, guys?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor? Cool, thank you again so much.
You opposed? You want to stay longer? Gotta get Nancy's phone number from. You don't know it by heart. You're like me, it's on my cell phone. Everything's on my cell phone.
I'm gonna go home and tell them.
Yeah, if the phone rings, don't answer it.
Maybe just so your thanks.
I don't know.